people that are putting it out there. Maybe for those that are hearing it for the first time or don't fully understand it, give us a little bit of an explanation in how we can prepare ourselves or be prepared as investors when we're talking about trigger rates.
Great. Yeah. So I'll first explain what a trigger rate is for those that maybe don't know. And for those that don't know, you should pay attention in case this is you. So when you have a variable rate, there's really two types of variable rate, right? There's the variable rate where if prime rate changes, your mortgage payments change. And then there's a static variable rate where your payments don't change. Now you have to think mentally for the past few increases, the people who have had their mortgage payment changing feel like they're getting the sort of the bad end of the stick, right? They're looking at it going, rates are going up, my payments are going up, and I'm sitting here looking at other people and their payments aren't changing. They think that they're losing. But what's happening with those people is, remember, if your payment is changing, you're attacking the same amount of principal every month. So let's just imagine if you had a $2,000 a month mortgage payment and you're paying $1,000 towards principal and $1,000 towards interest. Well, if rates go up and your payment goes up, you're paying $1,000 of principal, but maybe now $1,500 of interest because your interest has gone up. That's normal. Those people, they'll just be affected with this increase the same way they always have been. The rates go up a bit, their payment goes up. The trigger rate is more relevant to static variable, to the people whose payments have not changed, okay? And you have to imagine what's happening to the people whose payments don't change. If they're paying, again, same number, if they're paying $2,000 a month at the start of the year, and they're paying $1,000 towards principal and $1,000 towards interest, if that interest keeps going up, and their payments not changing, what's happening is they're not paying $1,000 of principal anymore. They're now paying $1,500 of interest and maybe $500 of principal. So inevitably what happens in a market where rates keep going up, these people will hit the point where their mortgage payment is now interest only because their rate has gone up. When that happens, you hit what's called the trigger rate. And the trigger rate is basically where the bank will call you and ask and give you three suggestions or options to bring your amortization in line, because you can't have interest-only mortgages. So they'll ask for one, a cash call. So they'll ask you to pay them a lump sum of money to bring your principal mortgage down if you want to try to stay on the same payment. Two, you can lock into a fixed rate where your payments are going to go up anyways, and you have to lock into today's fixed rates. Or three, you can increase your variable rate mortgage payment like everybody else has had to do. But inevitably, we've never had this before, Alfonso, right? And ever since I've been doing mortgages, I've been doing this for 20 years, we've never hit trigger rates. But 3% in 1 year, a lot of people who haven't been affected are potentially about to be affected. And if you want a quick sort of example, I use this. This is a quick idea. I always say, check with your bank. Do you have your calculator, Alfonso? We'll do a quick example. All right. So if you have your calculator, pull it up. But this is check with your bank for sure. But here's a rough calculation you can use to figure out your trigger rate. So I need two pieces of information. One, I need your annualized mortgage payment. So let's just say, Alfonso, you said to me, okay, well, Dan, I'm paying $3,000 a month for my mortgage. So I'd go, okay, 3,000 times 12. Remember, if you're paying biweekly, you do it times 26. If you're paying weekly, you do it times 52. So you take your monthly mortgage payment, you annualize it. So times 12. Take that number and divide it by the mortgage balance. So just say you owe 600 grand. So divide that number by 600,000, Alfonso, okay, and then multiply that number by 100. And that will give you a rough idea of your trigger rate. So what rate did that give you?
That gave me 6. So 6%. So there you go.
So that's a rough. Now it's not exact, but if you're worried about, am I going to hit my trigger rate? Call your bank to confirm, but that's a rough idea you can use.
Yeah, no, that's a great piece of advice. And definitely for all of you that are listening to this, that's, again, a rule of thumb or just a kind of a general, but it gets you close, right? That 6 number is pretty close to that, 5.55, or we're talking about fixed rates or where you're currently at. So that's a great calculation to kind of keep in the back pocket, to see that. But definitely, yeah, reach out to, your bank or whoever you're holding that mortgage to get that information.